Hey everybody, it's Jayla Chef. Thank you so much for joining me again in my kitchen for another one of my recipes. Now today we're going to be doing cabbage steak. It's a very quick recipe. You can add that quickly to any one of your proteins and your carbs. Tonight we're just probably going to pair it with protein, which will probably be chicken. But let's focus on this recipe. So it's very simple. So if you're in a rush for dinner, looking for something different, tired of traditional sauteing, all you gotta do is go ahead, slice that cabbage into 1.5 inch thick and season it your way. So tonight I'm gonna season it with a little bit of organic olive oil. I'm going to crush up some garlic and then brush it right on top. Throw that in the oven. Put that oven on about 400 to 450 depending on your own oven. While that's in the oven, you can go ahead and tend to your other dishes that'll be pairing with your cabbage steak. I'm gonna go ahead right now and start with the first thing, which is adding my ingredients together. So that's going to be the crushed garlic. I'm going to go ahead and crush it up. Add a sprinkle of some Weber's seasoning, which is the roasted garlic and herb. I love this. Have a little spicy kick to it, so don't use too much of it if you're not into the kick. And olive oil. So we're going to get that up to a little boiling, almost boiling, because be careful, olive oil likes to pop. So get that simmered so that it blends well with all of the flavor. So I have my stove here on very low. All you need is a little piece of the garlic. We're gonna go ahead and get that out. Shake it out. I'm gonna go ahead and add that olive oil. All you need is a little bit because it's just gonna lightly glaze and be brushed over on top of the cabbage before it goes into the oven. For the deluxe is your seasoning of choice. Mine is Weber's garlic and herb. Sprinkled. I added a little bit of water, just a little drop, to make sure it's not too heavy with the seasoning, but you don't have to do that route. So now that the garlic, olive oil, and seasoning is heating up, we can go ahead and turn that stove off and be prepared to brush it on your steaks. Let's go ahead. All right, so here we have our cabbage steak sliced into about 2 inches thick. All right, so let's go ahead and get to brushing our steaks. Once you're done brushing all of your steaks, you can go ahead and get some of that garlic on top of it. Don't mind me, I'm making a mess. Make sure you get all around each and every last one. For my thicker ones, I'm just gonna pour a little on top so that I know it's going to seep through to the bottom. Okay. Guys, this is smelling so good right now. Can you see the top? All right, now I'm at the end, so I'm just gonna throw on some of those garlic pieces that I told you about. These are gonna be so good, and it's such a quick meal to make. So if you're one of those persons who like to prepare a bunch of different options for dinner, like me, sometimes I'm cooking pork chops for my husband, maybe even some ribs. Those are things that I do not eat, but that does not mean that I don't get to have a home cooked meal that night. My daughter loves seafood sometimes, and she loves chicken. So I get a variety to choose from. All right, so now it's time for me to go ahead and get these into the oven. I'll be right back. Let's start adding our cabbage steaks into the pan. I always like to give my pans an extra layer. I don't like doing the dishes. I don't like cleaning before putting them in a dishwasher. It's just not my thing. So it's easier, less of a mess this way. So let's get these on. And let's get one of my half babies up here. All right, so simple. Let's get these things into the oven. Now, once again, your oven should be set to 450. All right, everybody. So this is what your finishing look of your cabbage steaks should look like. Get a closer look. So what we have here are two versions. So I made this two different ways. So right here on the right side, we have air fried. I let this air fry on roast option for 12 minutes, okay? They're very tender and I just can't wait to dive into them. I already got a little taste and okay, and these are the ones from the oven. I let them bake for about 21-22 minutes. They are a little more they're a little less tender, I should say. So it's based on your preference. The air fry version is much more convenient in my opinion and to my liking. I like my cabbage a little less thick, which is more tender. So I feel like the air fry version gives you that. Also, it cooks in less time. So if you're in a tight time frame, coming home from working all day, taking care of the kids, feeding in everyone, this would be the best bet if you're into the more tender texture in your cabbage. If you're into the more thicker structured cabbage, then that would be your oven roasted version. This was on for about 21 minutes and it's not as tender, but it's still very nicely textured, nice and juicy. It's different. And if you leave it a little longer on that same temperature, you might risk burning it. So I just want to go ahead and thank you all for tuning in with me while I make cabbage steak, roasted cabbage steak. To get it to look like this and taste like this, we did olive oil, garlic, and some garlic herb seasoning from Weber's. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I promise there will be more to come. Thank you.